What's happening, beautiful people? Welcome back to Grateful Panic Knife Reviews. I'm so glad that you stopped by. I hope at the end of the video you are too. And if you are, go ahead and like, subscribe, throw us a comment down below. Today we're going to be checking out a knife that I have wanted to get my hands on for quite a while now, and thanks to our good friend and Grateful Panic family member, Jody Bear, over at Big Red EDC, I'm finally getting the chance to do so. And it is the Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron. Before we check out the Neutron, let's go ahead and get a quick panic dump and beverage check out of the way. Today I was carrying the Ruins EDC Supply Box Designed F5.5, and this is the carbon fiber, and you can't see in there, LMAX version. And this is courtesy of a very generous anonymous benefactor that we call Secret Agent Inferno. I was also carrying the Holiday Leatherworks organizer with Olight i3T EOS and EP1 from Refine, and the Monterey Bay Knives Field Trekker, and the Leatherman Super Cool 300. And I was also carrying a hank today. It was the this old school tattoo style hank from LTD EDC Gear over on Instagram. And I think that's it. That's it. So that leads us to the beverage of the day, which is some New Belgium Voodoo Ranger V2K IPA. And I think there's really anything on this one. India Pale Ale with guava flavored grapefruit extract and spice. Brewed and canned by New Belgium Brewing, Fort Collins, Colorado, Nashville, North Carolina, and 6.9% alcohol by volume. So let's go ahead and give a big ol' hearty Grateful Panic cheers to Greg Wilson. Brother Greg, cheers, my friend. All right, now that we've got the pleasantries out of the way, let's go ahead and dive on down, get up close and personal with the TRM Neutron. What's happening, guys? Today we're going to take a look at a knife that I have been wanting to get my hands on for a long time now, and have up until now been unable to, but thanks to our good friend Jody Bear or Big Red EDC, I finally get to do so. And I've got to say big shout out to Jody, because this was one enjoyable experience. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to check this knife out. It's pretty fantastic, to say the least. Well, we'll get into that here in a minute. Let's go ahead and bust this bad boy out and take a look at it. It's got some extra screws and such in here. I'll take a look at what else comes in the box from old Three Rivers Manufacturing. Get some extra screws, little business card, foamy foam insert there, and this guy telling you that Ty has a new email address. Right on. And you can win some stuff if you go there, apparently. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Be very careful here. And there she is, ladies and germs, in all her glory. The Three Rivers Manufacturing Neutron. And isn't she a beaut? I mean, she really is. That is a good looking knife. I know some of you guys are not the biggest fans of JG10, but some knives it looks good on, and usually I'm a bigger fan of it when it comes with black hardware and coated blade. But I don't know, just something, I don't know if it's the profile of the knife or the finish on the blade or what it is, but I dig it. I would probably, however, at some point end up dyeing it, but that's neither here nor there. But let's go ahead and knock some quick specs out while we've got her out. And we have an overall length of 7 inches, blade length of 3 inches, with a cutting edge of 2.875 inches, blade width of 1.13 inches, blade thickness, this is the killer one right here, 90 thousandths, and it is in CPM 20 CV. It's a drop point blade with a very high flat grind, comes all the way up to right here, so that's a nice, it's just, I mean, all but a full flat grind. It's a plain edge, of course. We got a handle length of 4 inches, which gives us our overall length of 7 inches. We got a handle width of 1 1/8 inch, and this is another kicker right here. Let me get the calipers. We have a stinking handle thickness of 333.5 thousandths. And just to put that into perspective, 3/8 of an inch is 375 thousandths. 3/8 of an inch, meaning like 1/8 of an inch less than half an inch. Like half an inch is already, you know, pretty thin. I mean, that's about your average handle thickness, I feel like. Oh no, they just knocked another 1/8 of an inch off and said, oh, let's just go with this this booming dimension of less than 3/8 of an inch, 333 thousandths. Okay, so we got a 20 CV blade. We got titanium liners. It is a liner lock. Got these 3 cool little standoffs right here, which I think that's neat. You just don't normally see 3 standoffs in a row like that. I think it has something to do with the 3 Rivers thing, but I'm not sure. I'm just gonna go with it though. We got a stainless steel pocket clip over here with 3 more of something. 3 screws there. Seeing a pattern of 3s here. And this is they got a kick-ass little system of changing the handle scales out, where you just simply take these 2 screws out on the show side, pop her off, throw the new scales on, put the screws back in, and then on this side, you basically take the clip off and those 2 screws and do the same thing as the side. And on the blade here, you got this cool, I think 3 Rivers logo is really cool looking, and especially the way they do it on the blade. I think it looks pretty nifty. On this side, you got TRM USA 20 CV. You got T8 on the pivot. You got T6 on the other hardware. It is a fully open construction with no milling for weight reduction, but as Cletus is about to show us, don't really need it. Take any more weight off of it, and it's going to weigh nothing. And then what's going to happen? Float away, you lose your knife. You're going to be sad. We don't want that. So we will leave a little bit of weight on it so that doesn't happen. 2.39 ounces, so a little less than 2.5 ounces, which is about half an ounce or so over bug out weight. But I mean, this is a fully lined construction with no weight reduction. So we got some nice JG10 scales here, and I know, you know, people have their thoughts on JG10, and I have my own thoughts on JG10, and I take it in a knife by knife basis. Some knives, in my opinion, look great in JG10, and some look like Slimer from the Ghostbusters took a week poop. I don't know what it is. And usually I prefer, if it's going to have JG10, to have the whole Blade HQ exclusive color scheme with the coated blade, black hardware, and the JG10. But for some reason, this knife looks pretty fantastic, and I say that to say this. I think it looks great, but I know me, and at some point down the line I would get tired of the JG10 because I mean, I don't know, the more you look at it, it's just kind of, it's like weak sauce, you know. It's not really a color. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not my favorite. But like I said, I think this knife looks good this way, but I know I would get tired of the color. Now we're talking about this blade thickness. I mean, 90 thousandths. So typically we're looking at 120 thousandths blade stock on just your average EDC knife. I mean, of course, there's going to be some thinner here and there, and Open L is definitely not no 120 thousandths. But and this is, you know, by no means a hard use knife. Is you're not going to be cutting linoleum and busting concrete blocks with it. But I mean, yeah, you looking at, well, I'm getting 88.5. There's a 90 thousandths blade stock, and they take a little bit off, leaving us with 88.5. Now behind the edge, what do we got? Come on, baby. About 17 thousandths. So nice and slicey. I have not cut jack doo-doo with it. I have run it through a piece of paper or two to test the sharpness, and it is sharp. It will cut. Given the right motivation and the right amount of energy, it will keel. Although we do not condone the keeling of people. But no, it's a fantastic knife. I do honestly wish that they were easier to come by, but I think that would take away a little bit from the allure of it, because I mean, part of it, whereas I mean, like I said, it's a fantastic knife, but I think part of the attraction also is the fact that they're just not readily accessible whenever you want one. You know, you're gonna have to wait, and then, you know, to the point of you, even when they drop, you may or may not get one. And you know, yeah, that is aggravating. But I think also when you do end up getting that knife that you've wanted forever, and that you've tried to get in, you know, a handful of drops and never have gotten it, when you finally do get it, it makes it just that much more awesome and special. So you know, deep down, I really can't fault them. Which, I mean, you know, they're a small shop. They put out as many knives as they can, as fast as they can. It's not their fault that, well, it is their fault for making a jam up knife. I was going to say it's not their fault that everybody wants one, but yeah, it is. They didn't make such a killer knife, nobody would want one. We could get one anytime we wanted. But then, of course, they'd go out of business because they couldn't sell any knives because nobody would want any. This thing feels pretty fantastic in hand, and you know, honestly, seeing it in person for the first time, I don't think it's necessarily bigger than I thought it was. It just, I don't know, it fits the hand better than I thought it would. For some reason, I guess to a certain extent, I did think it would be smaller, but I don't know, looking at it, it's like, yeah, that's about what I thought it would. That's about how long I thought it would be, but I don't know, I just didn't think it would, you know, fill the hand like it does. I honestly think that it's just, you know, a EDC knife. The Atom may be a little bit too long for my liking, but the Neutron is definitely spot on. Yeah, I literally can't think of anything bad to say about this knife. I know it's not necessarily drop shut action, but I mean, look at that. That's pretty cool for washers. And you know, honestly, with a knife like this, if it will fall to there, that's normally how I open or close it. I don't do the whole like shake it down, you know, it's whatever. I'm trying to get it closed and back in my pocket. So, you know, usually I don't even wait for it to drop. It's just more of that type deal. And that action is so buttery smooth. And the action on deployment, snappy as all get out. I will say it doesn't have the strongest detent in the world, but so of course Kev would be a little bit disappointed. We know that he was and has been. Anyway, the placement of the thumb stud in relation to the pivot, you're able to, the way I like to do it is just kind of press a little bit forward, and I don't really think about it like this when I'm doing it, but this is the action that I use. Is I'm pressing forward until that, you know, you build up enough of that energy to where it's boop, you know, it's kind of like, the action's a lot like the Kaiser T1, and the Kaiser T1, well, the ones that I've experienced, they don't have the greatest of detent, but where the thumb stud is located in relation to the pivot, that whole geometry thing, it just makes for a really snappy action on a knife like this. I mean, that's insane. That is insanity. So yeah, that's really about all I have to say about it, because there's not much, you know, more to say. It's not, you know, it's just basically a no frills EDC knife that's gonna function the way you need it to function, and it's pleasant to carry, it's pleasant to look at, it's pleasant to fidget with, and it has, you know, a pretty cool story behind it to boot. And by story, I just mean basically the, you know, where it comes from, Three Rivers Manufacturing. If you get the chance to go and check out Bob DeMarco's podcast with Marianne Helpern as the guest, definitely go check it out and you know, learn the backstory of Three Rivers. I love the stories of how companies got started, and, you know, what their manifesto is, what they have planned as far as their impact on the world, or at least the country that they're located in. So definitely go check that out, guys. I definitely appreciate you guys stopping by to check out this video, and please know that you are all more than welcome to come back anytime. Until next time, guys, get on out there, EDC your ass off, and do something nice for somebody. Thanks, guys.